Wow is all I have to say right now, man. Wow. I was not expecting to get this news today. The reports were going around that Jeffrey Lurie was obviously not happy. We saw that ourselves, especially during that first Cowboys game in Philadelphia. You could tell that Jeffrey Lurie was very frustrated with what he was seeing. But then reports were going around that Doug Pederson was going to be staying for one more year. And then, of course, the reports started floating around again this week that Doug Pederson job is not so safe. And today, it's been made official. The Eagles have fired their Super Bowl winning head coach Doug Pederson after 5 seasons with the Philadelphia Eagles. The NFL is a very crazy business, man. It really is. It's absolutely a crazy business. You just never know what's going to happen, man. The NFL is a results business. It's about, what are you doing for me now, not what you've done for me in the past. Doug Pederson's, obviously Super Bowl winning head coach, bringing our franchise our first Super Bowl championship, the 2017-18 NFL season. Since then, the Eagles, they made the playoffs the two years following the Super Bowl win, but a lot of that had to do with the fact that they were in a pretty terrible division, the NFC least. And you can just tell that this team each year, the last, the 3 years following the Super Bowl season, you can just tell that this team was regressing, and most notably Carson Wentz. Now, some Eagle fans I know are probably not gonna like what I gotta say here, but with the firing of Doug Pederson, I think this actually increases the chances of Carson Wentz returning that season. The reports were going around that Doug Pederson and Carson Wentz had a very fractured relationship. They had a very, very fractured relationship. Carson Wentz was reportedly to say that if Doug Pederson came back, then he most definitely wanted to be traded. So Doug Pederson's final game with the Philadelphia Eagles ends in a loss against the Washington football team. A very controversial move that a lot of people hate that he made to pull Jalen Hurts and pull meaningless starters in that meaningless game. I personally didn't care one way or the other. Like I was like, it was a meaningless game. I didn't care, and we didn't owe anybody, especially not the Giants, anything. So I wasn't critical of Doug Pederson's move like some people were. Reports were going around. The first meet, this was the second meet between Doug Pederson and Jeffrey Lurie this offseason. They had met previously, I think like a week ago. That meeting didn't go so well. Then they meet today for a second meeting, and Doug Pederson, got fired. Jeffrey Lurie wanted to know what was the plan to get this team back on track. What was the plan with Carson Wentz? Because Jeffrey Lurie was very, very frustrated in general. But yeah, the plan, he wanted to know what was Doug Pederson's vision for turning this team around. Basically, it was a pitch by Doug Pederson to tell Jeffrey Lurie, to pitch to him why he should keep his job. And apparently the pitch that the vision that Doug Pederson had, Jeffrey Lurie didn't like it. Like I really am surprised by this, because Jeffrey Lurie is known for being one of the more patient owners in the league. Look how long he was patient with with Andy Reid. This is a Super Bowl winning head coach in Doug Pederson. So I was actually a little bit surprised that that this move happened. I know I called for Doug Pederson to be fired during during the season. I called for him to be fired after a couple of recap games. But I never thought that I really never thought that the plug was gonna be pulled by Jeffrey Lurie this season. I thought that he was gonna give him one more season to try to turn this thing around, and possibly next offseason get fired. So the fact that Jeffrey Lurie pulled this move now, very surprising to me, at least. So the Eagles are back in the market for a head coach. The search for a new head coach is on the way now. I just want to say thank you to Doug Pederson for the 5 years here in Philadelphia overall. We made the playoffs. Three out of those 5 seasons, winning our first Super Bowl championship. That right there, for me as a sports fan, will forever be the greatest day of my life. seeing my team finally win that Vesterboy Trophy, after, for years having to hear these haters, talk about how we would never win one, we're ringless and all that stuff, man. Finally being able to see my team win the Super Bowl, man, happiest day of my life. So, from the bottom of my heart, thank you, Doug Pederson, for, your contributions that, helping us win our first Super Bowl championship. I wish you the very best elsewhere. Maybe it's for the best for both sides. Just go ahead and part ways. Wish Doug Pederson the best elsewhere. But for me, it's simple as this, man. If Doug Pederson gets fired, we saw Jim Schwartz. He let his contract expire. Doug Pederson gets fired. The next person that Jeffrey Lurie needs to be looking at to fire is Harry Roseman. Let's keep it real. Harry Roseman is the next guy that needs to be on the hot seat about losing his job. His drafting has been overall very atrocious. Atrocious is that's actually an understatement for the way his draft has been. His contract management, which was one of the things that people used to praise him for the most. You look at it now, man, the Eagles are in cap hell because the way that Roseman does it is that he backloads these contracts and just and he just backloads the money on the back of these contracts. And I don't care what anybody say that contract to Carson Wentz, I still stand behind what I said. Terrible contract. And we are stuck with Carson Wentz for at least 2022, or unless we are able to get a trade for him. But like I said, with the firing Doug Pederson, to me it appears to be more and more of a strong possibility that that Carson Wentz will be back next year. I'm not saying with 100% certainty, because you never know. But with the firing Doug Pederson, that definitely does look more favorable for Carson Wentz's future in Philadelphia. Because Carson Wentz, like I said, had a very fractured relationship with Doug Pederson, and it was reportedly at the stage where there was no repair. So, yeah, Doug Pederson, his play calling was absolutely atrocious. These past couple seasons, the adjustment making was terrible. Absolutely terrible. Like I said, man, I'm surprised by this firing, but it was always a possibility that he could get fired. But it still did, shock me to hear this news. But yeah, man, Eagles are back in the market for another head coach. Like I said, I wish Doug Pederson the best wherever he goes next. But Harry Roseman needs to be packing his bags and leave it too. In my honest opinion. If Schwartz is out, Pederson is out, then Harry Roseman needs to be out too. But we'll see what happens there, man. Somewhat surprising news here, man. But yeah, I wish Doug Pederson nothing but the very best. Once again, news, of course, the Eagles have parted ways with their 2017-18 Super Bowl winning head coach, Doug Pederson. I wish him nothing but the very best elsewhere. Thank you, Doug Pederson, for your contributions to this team. Thank you for helping us win our first Barry Trophy. Best of luck to you elsewhere. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section about this very big breaking news out of Philadelphia. Let me know, are you celebrating the fact that that Doug Pederson is gone, or are you or are you one of those fans that think that this was a bad decision? Let me know in the comment section. As always, go Birds. Spunky 991's out of here. Flag will fly. Peace.